For 40 years, the map of European power was simple. Berlin was the undisputed engine, and everyone else was just a passenger. But as we move through 2026, the engine has stalled. Smoke is rising from the heart of the German Mittelstand. But it's not the smoke of production, it's the smoke from a fire sale. While the world was distracted by headlines of global instability, a tectonic shift occurred in the East. A 30-year winning streak has just culminated in a trillion-dollar milestone, and this isn't just a recovery, it's a systemic replacement. By the end of this year, the average Pole will be effectively wealthier than the average Spaniard. German factories are physically being uprooted, disassembled, and moved across the border. This isn't a temporary trend, it's a permanent realignment. Today, we're looking at the story of the German exodus, the rise of Fortress Poland, and the exact moment the center of gravity in Europe finally shifted. To understand where we're going, we have to look at the math the mainstream economists ignored for decades. This story doesn't start in 2026. It starts in the winter of 1989 with a plan so radical it was called shock therapy. While other post-communist nations hesitated, Poland jumped. They privatized, they liberalized, and they suffered. But they cleared the deck for what was to come. Between 1995 and today, Poland did something no other EU nation managed. It forgot how to have a recession. For 28 years, through the dot-com crash, the 2008 financial meltdown, and even the post-pandemic shocks, Poland's GDP stayed green. It is a record of stability that is practically unique among modern developed economies. How did they do it? It's what many call the Goldilocks architecture. Unlike other Eastern European nations that bet everything on a single export, Poland built a diversified fortress. They have agriculture, high-tech manufacturing, a massive logistics sector, and a thriving finance hub. But the most crucial decision was what they didn't do. They didn't join the euro. By keeping the zloty, Poland kept its own hand on the steering wheel, allowing them to adjust interest rates and currency value to survive global volatility, while the rest of Europe was shackled to a stagnant central policy. In September 2025, the milestone finally hit. Poland officially became a trillion-dollar economy. The tiger of Europe isn't a cub anymore. It's the new predator in the room. But growth needs fuel. And in 2026, Poland's fuel is coming directly from Germany's tank. We are witnessing the German exodus. For the first time in history, the mathematical rationale for staying in Germany has collapsed. Let's look at the brutal numbers. In Germany, a single industrial worker now costs a company over 4,000 euros a month. In Poland, for the same skill level, that cost is effectively halved. But it's not just about cheap labor anymore, it's the energy trap. Germany's Energiewende, their massive energy transition, has become a cautionary tale of ideological overreach. By shutting down nuclear power before their renewable storage was ready, Germany sent industrial electricity prices into the stratosphere, threatening the very existence of heavy industry. Meanwhile, Poland's aggressive move into LNG offshore wind and a massive new nuclear program has stabilized their grid. For a CEO in Munich or Stuttgart, the choice is no longer between cheap or quality. It's between moving to Poland or filing for bankruptcy. We see this in the massive investments from Volkswagen and Mayan Truck and Bus. They aren't just opening branch offices. They are moving the heart of their electric vehicle production to places like Recession and Krakow. When Poland starts importing more German goods than China does, you know the old world order has flipped on its head. Now let's talk about the number that should terrify the legacy powers in London and Paris. It's called the PPP Flip, purchasing power parity. This is the real-world measure of what your paycheck actually buys you at the local grocery store and the rental office. In 2026, we hit the psychological tipping point. For the first time, the standard of living in Poland is projected to surpass Spain and Israel. Let that sink in. For a 30-year-old software engineer or industrial designer, the Warsaw Advantage is now a statistical reality. While nominal salaries might still look higher in Berlin, the cost of living there has become a black hole. In Berlin, rent is now 61% higher than in Warsaw. Utilities are 55% higher. When you factor in the quality of the modern infrastructure and the safety of the streets, the brain drain has completely reversed. The talent is staying home, and Western talent is starting to move in because the math of living in the West no longer adds up for the middle class. But there's a darker, more muscular side to this rise. It's called Fortress Poland. While the rest of NATO is still struggling to meet the 2% defense spending target, Poland has pivoted to a staggering 4.8% of its GDP. That's nearly 50 billion euros. This isn't just about tanks and border security, it's the ultimate industrial stimulus. They are calling it repollinization. By leveraging massive technology transfers from the US and South Korea, Poland is building a domestic, high-tech military complex that the rest of Europe can no longer afford to maintain. This military buildup is part of a larger geopolitical strategy, the Three Seas Initiative. Poland isn't just looking west, it's looking north to the Baltic, south to the Adriatic, and east to the Black Sea. They are building a north-south corridor of energy, digital, and transport infrastructure that bypasses the traditional east-west axis dominated by Berlin and Moscow. However, no miracle comes without a cost. Poland is sprinting toward a demographic wall. Like much of the developed world, the population is aging and the fertility rate is low. Furthermore, you can't build a fortress on a credit card forever. Poland currently runs one of the highest deficits in the EU, nearing 7%. If they cannot transition from being a manufacturing hub to a genuine innovation leader before the debt catches up, this 2026 peak could be followed by a long, difficult slide. Let's look deeper at the infrastructure gap. While Germany's legendary rail network decays, Poland is breaking ground on the CPK, a mega airport and high-speed rail hub designed to be the transport backbone of the 21st century. Imagine a world where you can travel from any major city in Poland to the central hub in 100 minutes. That isn't a dream, it's a construction project scheduled for completion. This is what a rising power looks like. It builds while others maintain. It invests while others austerity. The economic center of Europe has moved east. It didn't happen overnight, but in 2026, the data has finally made it undeniable. The old powers are grappling with the ghosts of their industrial past, while Poland is building the infrastructure of the future. The continental balance of power hasn't just tilted, it's been completely rebuilt. The question is no longer whether Poland will catch up. The question is how long it will take for the rest of Europe to realize that the leader has already changed. In 2026, the movement is only gaining speed, the factories are moving, the money is moving, the talent is moving. Thanks for watching.